Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth. He ruled an empire that stretched from Britain to Egypt. He commanded armies. He decided who lived and who died. Yet every morning, he woke up and reminded himself, "You are going to die. Everyone you love will die. Everything you build will crumble." Depressing? No. Liberating. Because from that brutal honesty came 7 rules. 7 daily practices that kept him sane while leading Rome through wars, plagues, and betrayals. These weren't motivational quotes. These were survival tools. And 1,800 years later, they still work. The 7th one will completely change how you see failure. You're drowning in notifications, comparing yourself to strangers, chasing goals that don't even feel like yours, stressed about things you can't control. Welcome to being human in 2024. Marcus Aurelius faced different details but the same demons: political backstabbing, economic collapse, existential dread, the pressure to perform, the fear of inadequacy. His solution wasn't positive thinking or productivity hacks. It was philosophy as operating system. 7 rules he practiced daily, not once in a while when he felt inspired. Every single day. Let's break them down. But I'm warning you, these aren't comfortable. They require honesty that most people avoid. That's why most people stay stuck. Rule 1. Wake up like you've already died. Marcus wrote this in his private journal. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Not tomorrow, right now. This sentence you're hearing could be your last. Most people hear this and think it's morbid. It's not, it's the opposite. When you truly accept that today might be your last day, something shifts. The grudge you're holding, suddenly ridiculous. The approval you're chasing, stops mattering. The risk you're avoiding, you take it. Marcus practiced this every morning. Before dealing with senators, armies, and endless problems, he reminded himself, I am temporary. This is borrowed time. Every breath is a gift I didn't earn. Here's how this works in your life. You wake up. Before checking your phone, you say to yourself, out loud if possible, I will die someday, but not today. So what actually matters? Not what's urgent, not what will impress people. What actually genuinely matters if this is day 30,000 of your life and you don't get 30,001. That project you're procrastinating, start it. That person you love, tell them. That fear holding you back, walk toward it. The Stoics called this Memento Mori. Remember death, not to be sad, to be awake. Because most people are sleepwalking through the only life they get. Marcus ruled an empire and still woke up reminding himself he was mortal. You're checking Instagram before your feet hit the floor. Who's more awake? Rule 2, control only your thoughts, nothing else. Marcus wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about how much energy you waste trying to control things you can't. The weather, traffic, other people's opinions, the economy, politics, your boss's mood, your ex's new relationship. The Stoics divided everything into 2 categories, things you control and things you don't. And here's what you actually control: your thoughts, your reactions, your interpretations, your choices in this moment. That's it. That's the list. Everything else, not yours. You can influence it, you can work toward it, but you don't control it. And spending mental energy trying to control the uncontrollable is the definition of suffering. Marcus faced this daily. He couldn't control if his generals would betray him, if the plague would spread, if Rome would collapse after his death. But he could control his response, his character, his decisions. In your world, this looks like someone cuts you off in traffic. You don't control that. You control whether you let it ruin the next hour. Your boss gives feedback harshly. You don't control their delivery. You control whether you extract the useful part or spiral in resentment. Your project fails. You don't control the outcome. You control whether you learn and try again or give up and say, I knew I couldn't do it. Epictetus, Marcus's philosophical teacher, said, demand not that events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will go on well. This isn't resignation, it's clarity. Stop fighting reality. Start working with it. That's where your power actually lives. Rule 3, judge nothing as good or bad. Only your opinion makes it so. Marcus wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Read that again. The event doesn't hurt you. Your interpretation does. And you can change your interpretation. You lose your job, good or bad. Your first instinct, bad, terrible, devastating. But what if it was the push you needed to start that business? To leave a toxic environment? To discover a better career path? Someone criticizes you. Good or bad? Feels bad. Ego is bruised. But what if they're right? What if that feedback makes you better? What if it reveals a blind spot you needed to see? The Stoics weren't saying, pretend bad things are good. They were saying, stop the immediate judgment. Pause, ask, what can I make of this? Marcus faced catastrophes. The Antonine Plague killed millions. Wars on multiple fronts. Political enemies plotting against him. He could have judged all of it as bad and collapsed under the weight. Instead, he asked, what does this situation demand of me? How can I respond with wisdom and courage? When you stop labeling everything as good or bad, you stop being a victim. You become an interpreter, a creator of meaning. You take situations and ask, okay, this happened. Now what can I do? This doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't let feelings dictate your assessment. Pain happens. Suffering is optional. Suffering is what happens when you add the story, this is terrible and shouldn't have happened, to the pain. In your life right now, what are you labeling as bad that might just be a situation, a challenge, an opportunity in disguise? What if the thing you're resisting is actually the thing preparing you for what you said you wanted? Rule 4, do your duty. Expect nothing in return. Marcus wrote, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Notice what's missing. Be good, so people will like you. Be good, so you get rewarded. No, just be good, because that's what you're here to do. We've been conditioned to ask, what's in it for me? Before you help, you calculate. Before you create, you wonder if it'll get likes. Before you're honest, you assess if it's strategic. Marcus was emperor. He could have lived for pleasure. Instead, he worked, he served. He led armies he didn't want to lead, in wars he didn't start, against enemies who wouldn't stop. Why? Because it was his duty. Not because it felt good. Not because he got credit. Because Rome needed it, and he was in a position to do it. The Stoics believed your job is to do the right thing. The outcome isn't yours to control. Remember rule 2? Do what you're supposed to do. Let the results be what they will be. In your life, this means you create the best work you can. Whether it goes viral or no one sees it, not your concern. You show up for the people you love. Whether they appreciate it in the moment, not the point. You speak the truth. Whether people want to hear it, not your responsibility. This is liberating. You're no longer held hostage by outcomes. You're not performing for an audience. You're just doing what integrity demands. Marcus spent his life serving people who didn't understand him, leading armies that didn't always win, making decisions history would judge. He did it anyway, not for applause, for duty. What would change in your life if you did your work without checking the metrics every 10 minutes? If you were kind without needing validation? If you did the right thing even when no one was watching? That's not martyrdom. That's freedom. Rule 5, love your fate, all of it. The Stoics called this Amor, Fati, love of fate, not tolerance, not acceptance. Love. Marcus wrote, a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. Whatever happens to you, turn it into fuel. That betrayal, use it. That failure, learn from it. That loss, let it deepen you. Don't just accept what happens. Love it, because it's making you who you're supposed to become. This sounds insane until you really think about it. What if everything that happened to you, the good and the bad, was exactly what needed to happen? Not because of fate or destiny, but because that's what did happen, and resisting it is just wasted energy. Marcus lost children. faced betrayals from people he trusted, watched Rome burn. He could have spent his life asking, "Why me?" Instead, he asked, "What can I make of this?" When you love your fate, you stop being at war with reality. You're not constantly wishing your past was different or your present was easier. You take what is and say, "Okay, this is my raw material. What am I going to build?" Think about your biggest setback, the thing you still resent, the thing you wish hadn't happened. Now ask, who would you be if it never occurred? Would you be stronger, wiser, more compassionate, or would you be naive and brittle? The things you went through weren't punishments. They were your curriculum, and complaining about your curriculum while trying to graduate is a waste of time. In your daily life, this means traffic makes you late. Instead of rage, "Okay, I have extra time to think. What can I solve right now?" Someone cancels plans. I get an unexpected evening alone. What have I been putting off? It's not toxic positivity, it's practical philosophy. You can't change what happened. You can change what it means and what you do next. Marcus loved his fate, even when it was brutal, especially when it was brutal, because that's when it taught him the most. Rule 6, be useful, not impressive. Marcus wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." We live in the age of personal branding, curated feeds, highlight reels. Everyone's trying to look impressive. The Stoics asked, "Are you actually useful?" There's a difference. Impressive is the outfit, useful is the skill. Impressive is the title, useful is the work. Impressive is talking about your goals. Useful is making progress no one sees. Marcus was emperor. He could have built monuments to himself. He could have demanded elaborate titles and ceremonies. Instead, he spent his time governing, writing, thinking. His monument was his service. His legacy was his character. Ask yourself, am I trying to appear valuable, or am I actually creating value? Am I posting about productivity, or am I being productive? Am I talking about my principles, or am I living them? The Stoics believed, let your work speak. Let your character prove itself. Don't announce your intentions, demonstrate them. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. In your world, stop over-explaining yourself. Stop defending your choices to people who don't matter. Stop trying to convince everyone you're smart, talented, worthy. Just do the work. Be the person. Help the people. Impressive fades the moment you stop performing. Useful compounds over time. People forget what you said. They remember what you did. Marcus ruled the known world. History remembers him not for his power, but for his wisdom. Not for his victories, but for his character. Not for what he claimed, but for what he was. Be useful. The impressive part will take care of itself. Rule 7, practice dying every day. Marcus wrote, think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. This isn't Rule 1 repeated. This is different. Rule 1 was, wake up like you've already died, to create urgency. Rule 7 is, practice dying, to create peace. Every night before sleep, the Stoics practiced dying. They'd review their day as if it was their last, not with regret, with honesty. Did I live well today? Did I act according to my principles? Did I help or harm? Did I grow or stagnate? Then they'd let the day die. They wouldn't carry grudges into tomorrow. They wouldn't replay failures on loop. They'd release it. Today is dead. Tomorrow is a new life. This is how you stop accumulating emotional baggage. You practice dying to who you were yesterday. You practice releasing what didn't serve you. You practice starting fresh. Marcus knew he could die in battle, from disease, from assassination. He didn't fear it because he practiced it. He'd already died 1,000 times in his mind. The actual event would just be the final rehearsal paying off. Here's how this works for you. Tonight before you sleep, review your day. Ask, if this was my last day, did I live it well? Did I treat people with kindness? Did I do meaningful work? Did I waste hours on things that don't matter? Don't judge, just notice. Then say, that day is over. That version of me is gone. Tomorrow I start again, wiser, clearer, lighter. This is how you live without regret. Not by being perfect, by being honest, learning, and letting go. Practice dying every day, so when the real death comes, you've lived so fully that there's nothing left undone. 7 rules. Marcus Aurelius followed them while ruling an empire during wars, plagues, and constant crises. You're not an emperor, but you face your own wars, your own struggles, your own moments where you have to decide, will I be weak or strong, reactive or wise, a victim or a philosopher? These rules aren't easy. They're not supposed to be. Easy doesn't build character. Challenge does. Discomfort does. Choosing the harder right over the easier wrong does. Marcus is dead. Rome fell. But these 7 rules, still here, still working, still turning ordinary people into unshakable forces. The question is, will you follow them, or will you just think about following them? Start today. Pick one rule. Practice it. Tomorrow add another. By next week, you'll be different. By next month, you'll be unrecognizable. Live like a Stoic. Die like one too, with no regrets.